Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies, and my name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and I'd like to welcome you all back to a Throwback Friday. So this is the outfit for this month. I am intending to, of course, batch make another 4 little videos for you this month. So once you've seen the first, skip this bit of the intro. The main video will carry on after the first set of ads. And a cheeky reminder, any links that I mention during these videos will either be in the little pop-up eye symbol up here or in the drop down box down below. So on today's video we have got 2 whips and bits. That's right, 2, but don't worry, they're not that long. So here's the first one. It is whips and bits number 24. Right, so now on to completed whips for this week. Right, as I told you last week, I was doing a pattern test and it was all hush hush, and because I wasn't sure whether I would be allowed to show it yet. I certainly couldn't then because the pattern wasn't up and wasn't available, but it is now available online, so it doesn't matter what country you're in, you can get it. So here it is. Here is the blanket that I made. Now I'll start you off with the details on this one. I used the papaya cake in unicorn. Now I did do a little bit of colour controlling with it because I have used the white that was in the centre. I completely took that out as I was working along, and I've used that as my dividing colour. So here is the blanket. Now it's only diddy, but this is an entire cake, and I've literally, the only thing I've done is take out the white section to use within these little hearts here. Let's bring it up close for you. Okay, so there we go. Otherwise that is how the cake came out. Give or take a few stitches, because you know I don't like mixed rows of colour, but then that's just me being finicky, isn't it? Right, so I used the pattern. I've got to be careful how much info I give you, but I used the papaya cake and a 5mm. Now my blanket measures in at 25 inches wide by 27 in depth. Okay, and that's 4 little sets of stripes, so 4 lots of repeat. Now the pattern itself is beautifully easy to work out and to do once you get your brain in it, but of course last week my brain wasn't quite up to standard, was it? I was having a bit of a week the week before. Right, so to get hold of your copy of that pattern, pop on to goodvibesyarn.co.uk, where she has a section with her very first pattern in. It's beautifully written, really easy to get your head around, and I believe she may have a little video that she may be adding in to show you how to do the hearts a bit easier, and you might recognise the background and the voice. Right, let's move on to the next item. Right, so as some of you know, I'm really lucky. I've got a local shop to me that sells a lot of handmade items from different people in the area, lots of different crafts. And what they did last year was they collected in the donated yarn for me for the very first 1,000 poppies that were made. So I got about 50% through donations locally. Now they are being beautiful again this year for me. What they're doing is they're helping me, they're letting me sell some key rings. Now these key rings are to help promote another item within the shop, but I've made them, they've priced them, and instead of taking a percentage of the sale price, they're giving the whole lot to me, and the difference is to go towards buying the yarn and the brooches and the plastic bags and all the other bits and pieces that go along with the poppy challenge. It's not just making the flipping poppies. So these are the little bumblebees, and so far they've had 15, so this will take it up to 20, which by the time these are sold, the difference means that I will have enough to purchase the 1,000 brooch bags that I'm going to need for next year. So that's going to be really cool. So those, once they're finished, I've just got to put like little labels on and a little bow to make it look a bit more professional. And then they will be flying over to them probably tomorrow. Right, so here's a funny one for you. You read a pattern and you think, I'm not doing it like that, I'm going to do it my own way, which seems to be what I do quite a lot. And well, I've been eyeing up a little brooch pattern for ages, and it's a really little cute mouse. Well, it's been sitting in my Pinterest like album for ages and ages and ages. So I finally decided I was going to do it yesterday. Now, it called for cotton, and as you know, I've only done a few items in cotton. I haven't really learnt enough about cotton yet, and I didn't have the right colours as normal, so I just picked up a DK weight yarn and a 3mm hook, 3.5 millimeter hook. Now the pattern actually called for a 1.5mm hook, which was why there was no way I was going to do it, because some points of it there are only 4 stitches in a magic ring, and I'm sorry, if I can't get it round my finger so I can identify the stitches, don't do it. So this is my little mouse that I made. So I did change it up. I changed up the nose, I changed up the arms, I changed up the feet, and I changed up the tail, but the rest of it is the original design. Right, so I haven't finished because she hasn't got her makeup on yet, but as I said, it was meant to be a brooch, but I think it's a bit big for a brooch, and it might even be a bit too big for a keyring. I will put it up against the bumblebees in a minute so you'll see what I mean, but here she is, little cute mouse. Oh, that way round. It's alright, at the moment she's got 2 arms, and I haven't quite decided which way round I like her, but I decided to do 2 arms because of the thought of having her as a keyring. So let's put her up against my bumblebees. As you can see, she's quite a bit bigger. Right, so for the little mouse, which is up here now, and the bumblebees, the patterns both came from Pinterest, so I will attempt to link the pattern in the comments below. Right, so next up is the photographs from you guys. I have 2 this week. Now, one of them is absolutely amazing. I never thought I would see somebody else go as crazy as me. Here's the first one. Whoa, Julie, 34 poppies done. When you sent me that picture, I believe you were still carrying on, and you've had about a week. So you are kicking my behind when it comes to making poppies. I am so chuffed that you're liking the pattern and that you're running along with it and donating them on. Well, donating them on once the exhibition's finished. Now, your exhibition sounds absolutely beautiful. Right, so she's teamed up with a gentleman who does metal work and woodwork, and he's used some Second World War tools to create some beautiful planes and things. Now, I haven't got a photograph of this as yet. At some point I hope she's going to send me one so I can show it to you with the items that this gentleman has made and her poppies all in situ. But it's there to do a big celebration for the RAF this year. Right, next one up is a unicorn blanket. Now this was made by Helen using a 4-weight yarn, a 4mm hook, and hers came in at 25 by 36 inches. Now before I show you this, I'd like to congratulate her. This is her very first picture corner to corner or anything like that where she's had to multi-change yarn, and I know from experience, because this was pretty much my first one with more than one colour change in it, that it was a tough pattern. But she's kicked it up a gear from me and gone even crazier, and because she wanted to incorporate the yarn that she'd won from my birthday giveaway back in August. So she has used that, and it was pink, which made it hard because there was only 50 grams of it, but she has used it in the unicorn so that she has a memory of that yarn. And she has used lots of different colours. It's not a white background anymore. Have a look at this. I absolutely love it. It shows that just by changing the colours around within a pattern, you can take it from looking like a baby pattern, something that you would have in a nursery, to something maybe a 8, 9, 10 or even teenager would have. Now I know I've got another one coming up that has got a different hair and feet combination, and I can't wait to see that one so I can explain to you where I think that would go in the set. Right, so a couple of weeks ago I sent out a prize to Julie and Barbara, which were magazines. Now both of those have arrived safely with them, and we may not see them for a little while because they both seem to be glued to it. So here is a picture of the knitting magazine. Now you will get an opportunity to view this in at the end of October, beginning of November, because I sneakily took pictures of the magazine before it went out. So here it is. And here is the pictures from Barbara. Well, they're not from Barbara, I took them myself because I've got a second copy of this magazine, thankfully, and Barbara will be asleep at the moment because she's in Australia, I think, if I remember rightly. So due to that, this isn't exactly what I sent her. The card may be different and the stitch markers may be different, but other than that the magazine's the same, and so's the poppy kit. Right, now this is something a bit sicky and a bit creepy in some cases, but some of you might appreciate it. Right, the other day Liam had a bath. Liam is the dog, and of course after his bath he has to be brushed down, and well, he doesn't have to be, but I do. I give him a proper full brush top to bottom. Well, of course you have to clean the brush because he's got so much flipping hair, but not as much as others. But I was sitting there and I didn't have any yarn to hand when I'd finished, and I couldn't be bothered to come upstairs to grab some yarn to do a project. I sat there twiddling with the hair and created my own yarn. It's a bit sickly, isn't it? But what made it worse was I picked up my hook and I made a chain with it just to see if it would hold out. It's not doing too bad, but to be honest, hand spinning, I think I need one of them dangly things that you hang off it for the weight. But I took a picture to send to my husband to try and freak him out, and he asked, is it my hair? Because it looks like it could be. Cheeky so-and-so. Right, so I'm going to head off now, as I've got to take this spud out for a W. So I will see you all very soon. So please stay in and stay safe if you can. Ta-ra for now. Oh. 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 So yes, I left the outtake on that last one because sometimes, of course, if you watch the channel regularly, you'll know that I do actually put the outtakes on the end of my video. In the case of lives, the outtakes are at the beginning. Now we've got Whips and Bits number 25. And welcome back to Whips and Bits 25. Yes, I'm cheating. I've got it written down on the screen by the side of me, so you'll notice my eyes darting down every now and then to work out what I'm going to be saying next. But I found this is a pretty quick way and helpful way for me to be less pausey during the videos. Right, so this week I have been suffering with shoulder and arm pain running down my right side, so I've not been able to crochet as much as I would like, which means I've had to start finishing things. And so the first thing that I finally got round to doing is my donkey. Here he is. Now this is one of the patterns that came out of the Audi Fiesta kit. If you want to see that, I'll pop a link up above that will take you through to a video that shows you all of the other patterns, or at least some of them anyway. Now he's now joining his friends over here. Now this one also came out of the kit, and so did the guitar. Now I did change it around a little because of course this one said half double crochets, and I went, you can forget it. I don't see the point in doing a half double crochet on a stomach because the stuffing's just going to come out. But other than that, the pattern itself was quite nice to follow. I was playing a little bit of yarn chicken when it came to making the blanket because I mucked up, and when it came to ripping it back it decided it was just going to completely break. The yarn, that is, it snapped, and there was no way of saving it, and there was no way of winding it back in. So I was playing yarn chicken in the end with it, because I think it was about 2 rows of green that I had to leave to one side, which meant that that extra bit would have been the extra what's it called, fringing down the side here. But other than that, as I said, I think he's come out quite cheeky. Not a bad little character on him. And I did muck around and give him a slightly Eeyore-ish tail, because the way that they asked you to do the tail I just couldn't do. It was on a I think it was like 3-stitch or 4-stitch tube, and my hands aren't good at tubes that thin. I have to be 6 and above. So I mucked around with that, and so he was number 1 out. And then I had a good couple of days where the repetitive strain wasn't playing me up, and I joined in on a free international monster cow which is being hosted on Facebook. I'll be popping the link to the Facebook group in the comments below. Now with this international monster cow, they're giving you a free pattern each week that's Halloween orientated, just for the month of October. So the first one that was released is a ghost. Okay, now this is hosted by Ready Steady Crochet, and the pattern is by Monica Heffler. Sorry if I've said the name wrong. I will jot that just down here. Now the pattern itself is tough in parts, and you really do need to keep a close eye on the pattern as you're doing it, because it's not just single stitch stitches all the way around and just increase. There are a couple of bits where she's mucking around using increases on one side and decreases on the other, which gives you more shape to your ghost. So it's definitely a challenge. If you plan on making this as your first ever stuffy, take your time, mark off each part as you do it on the pattern. Okay, so you'll be able to get your copy of the pattern. I really should show you it, shouldn't I? Now it's not completely finished. I still want to add a bit more character, like the rest of the face. So this is another one of those. It's nearly complete, but it's not quite there. Here he is. It's my little ghost. Now I have tried with a couple of different faces so far. I tried giving him a moustache, a smiley face, a scary face, and nothing fitted him for that day. So that's why he's just sitting here floating around at the moment without the rest of his face. But as you can see, it's really, really beautiful. This is the increasing and decreasing section I was saying about, and now that is the start. You work from the top down, and it's all in one, the head and the body, and then it's just your arms that are different, that you have to attach. And the tail as well, it's really defined. It's got a really cute bit there. So I think he is lovely. So he is going to spook his way over to here. That's it. And then, of course, because I ended up making him, out came the repetitive strain injury. So of course, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be back manning the tables, as some of you will have known if you've seen the video that I put out on Friday about the Royal British Legion. If you didn't, there'll be a link to that one up there and down there. So what I've actually done is I've pulled out all of the parts of poppies that I had, which were the main body of the poppy, as well as the leaves, the pins, the brooch backs, sorry, and started putting them all together. I absolutely hate sewing, but let's just move these guys out of the way quickly. Over you go. Oop. There we go. But I've now got 120 ready to go for the tables this year. Now, I've been speaking to my coordinator, and he has said basically leave them for this year now, just stick to probably 200. I'll bring up to a round figure, but leave it at that because we're on limited tables this year, and it's a very local thing for me, like, and for our group, that we have these poppies. So there's my box. Each of my boxes contains 60. How could I forget that? Yeah, so each box contains 60. So there's my 120. So as I said, they're going out with some that were left over from last year, but they'll be out on the tables this year, which is really, really good. And then next year, hopefully I'll get it back up to the 1,000 again, because everything will be back to normal. Okay, so another bit of news, and the last bit is that my husband has given me my birthday present from August. Now, he's actually built me a computer, so that now I have got storage for videos, and hopefully things will improve so that I don't keep running out of room. So because of this is the second part of the video. Now, this is being recorded on the new tower with the mic moved around a bit and other bits and pieces tweaked, so to speak. So hopefully you'll be able to hear this perfectly fine, and nothing really will have changed too much from your point of view. So thank you very, very much, hubby. You're a cheeky toe rag. It took a little bit of time because my husband built me a tower and then had an order come through for this one with the same specs, so he sent it out, and then we waited for some other bits and pieces to arrive so he could build another one for me. This happened a good few times. So I've literally gone in and gone, come on babe, cough up. So he's given me the tower now. It's all set up, and fingers crossed nothing will go wrong this time. I've just got to try and work out all the passwords and hope I manage to save them all properly. But other than that, it's not a bad thing, is it? Right, I don't have any members' photos to show you this week. I know I've got one coming up, and there's an item waiting on a border, or as close to having the border finished. So that'll be with us next week for me to show you all. And maybe I might get to sneak a couple more pictures of poppies in next week as well, which would be really lovely. I've also got no questions from you guys this week. I must have given you all the info you needed. Right, well, I gave up on writing a script. It turned out I couldn't read it quick enough. I speak faster than I can read. And as for the ghost, he's sitting up here hiding on top of one of the boxes. He still hasn't got a face, because I just couldn't find it, and I actually fell in love with him and just as he was. So you'll get to see him again probably at Halloween. He'll come down and kick the fiesta stuffies out of the way. And the computer, well, that got upgraded yet again because my husband didn't realise exactly how crazy I was going to be with making videos for you all. So now I've got a new one, and it's still got a decent amount of storage for now. I say for now, because you know it's going to run out soon. Right, that is it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this week's Throwback Friday. So I will see you all again really soon. So if you can, please stay in and definitely stay safe. And ta-ra for now, everybody.